right, here we go. Welcome, everyone. So this is my technique presentation for Performance Enhancement C. So just breaking it down, the overview of this presentation, we're going to give you an introduction to the technique that I created. This is known as what I call the thinking heart meditation. I will discuss goals and intended outcomes of this intervention, then go into background information such as theoretical frameworks, techniques that it's based upon, and evidence-based research that it's founded upon. And then finally, just covering the application and the teaching of this intervention, this technique to clients and athletes. So first of all, the intervention that I created is called the Thinking Heart Meditation. So this is an intervention that combines relaxation, mindfulness, and imagery techniques. This specific combination, this blend of techniques, is all put into a single meditation session, and it's meant to help the client and athlete attain a calm, relaxed state of mind and body while improving mental rehearsal ability. So the ultimate outcome, one of the primary outcomes, is to help the client enhance self-confidence in performance accomplishment through the practice of vivid imagery, which immerses the client doing this technique, both cognitively and emotionally within the scene of the intended outcome. So we're there, we're thinking about it, we're feeling the emotions, and this is, well, getting into later with theoretical frameworks, this is part of confidence building, right? So it's a vicarious experience. So what's this based on? So three primary techniques that I mentioned. We have a muscle to mind relaxation technique by Harris and Harris, which first came out in 1984. Then there's the imagery model that I'm basing this off of, the PETLEP model, that's founded on the functional equivalence. That's Holmes and Collins. And then mindfulness meditation, a little typo there, mindfulness meditation training for sport by Baltzell, Caraballo, Chipman, and Hayden. So theoretical frameworks now. We have the PETLEP model of imagery, functional equivalence, that goes into really diving into the physical. So what PETLEP stands for: physical, environment, task, timing, emotion, perspective. That's what we're working at. And the idea is we are creating a very functionally equivalent scene that reproduces the physiological and psycho-emotional processes. Then there's mindfulness acceptance commitment approach, the MAC approach by Gardner and Moore, which is one of the fundamental pieces to my philosophy of practice and this specific intervention. So that's just to paraphrase it, recap. It's a non-judgmental awareness on present moment stimuli. And then what I added was the acceptance of the relationship between the self and the environment. So whatever is going on in the present moment, whatever you're feeling, you practice an acceptance of that. There's no judgment towards it. And we're just developing greater awareness of the body, of the mind, and all of the processes within. So the thoughts, the emotions. So research and evidence-based practices. So there's a lot of research into the parasympathetic state as opposed to the sympathetic state. The parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and digest system, versus the sympathetic fight or flight. So we want to stay in the parasympathetic. We want to be relaxed. There's research that shows, well, first of all, just backtracking, the commonalities between mindfulness and relaxation. Common themes, outcomes. We have, like I just mentioned, the parasympathetic nervous system dominance, and then one of our intended outcomes being the improved mood, cognition, and well-being overall. This sets us up for optimal performance when it comes to this meditation, this imagery. It sets us up for success. So going forward, diaphragmatic breathing, we know through the research, It may improve attentional focus and reduce negative affect and stress. So that's counter to the sympathetic nervous system. When we are reducing the negative affects and reducing stress, we are headed towards that parasympathetic state. So touching on it more, this parasympathetic state is a strong determinant, like I was just touching on, it's a strong determinant to concentration, imagery skill, and performance. So once again, we're setting the stage for a very, very efficient visualization practice. Mindfulness training helps bring awareness to one's physiological and psycho-emotional processes, which I was talking about in the previous slide, by facilitating attention to the present moment. So we're getting focused, we're getting relaxed first, then we're focusing the attention on the body and the mind, so the physiological and the psycho-emotional processes, and then we're going into our imagery. So PETLEP, this approach is effective in promoting positive cognitive, affective, and physiological changes. So again, we're talking about the physical, the mental, and the emotional. So now, just as we wrap it up, the final piece, the most important piece, is the application and the teaching of it. So this would be taught over 2 to 3 sessions in person. It can be done remotely as well through teleconsulting. I'm making sure that there's video, but ideally it's done in person. So what I have here is just a it's a cross between the actual script and then the instruction that I'm giving. So I'm using certain phrases and words which I would actually use in the guidance of the client through this experience. So we'll just go through it real quickly. So, and this is not to be done right here as I explain it, but it can be on your own if you want to record this again, or you want to rewatch this again and try this out for yourself. You're more than welcome to. So first, just backtracking, the idea is that 3-pronged approach. So we're starting out by relaxing the body. Then we are developing mindful awareness of the body and the mind, and really bringing ourselves to the present moment. So we're relaxing, we're getting present, and then we're practicing the imagery, the visualization, which is focusing on that desired state, that desired performance, whatever that is. Okay, so we sit comfortably with your back resting and your feet flat on the ground. Close your eyes, begin to melt into the chair. So there we have the verbiages that I would use, like melt into the chair. We're touching on words that help to induce that state of relaxation. Take 3 slow, deep, complete breaths. So this is that diaphragmatic breathing, that relaxation breath work. With each exhale, feel yourself relaxing further as you release tension. So another typo there. Place your awareness and attention at your feet, noticing any tension and fully relaxing the body part. Work your way up segmentally towards the head. So this part would actually be broken down, and I would guide them into it, say, start from the feet, go to the knees, go to the thighs, hips, core, abdomen, low back, chest, shoulders, arms, elbows, hands, working your way up to the jaw, the nose, eyes, head. So this is, again, it's a condensed script. Now begin to imagine. So up till this part, we're taking care of the relaxation and we're developing that mindful awareness. Now we begin the visualization piece, the imagery. Begin to imagine your desired scene or state. Place yourself in that environment. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, feel? What are you doing? How are you performing? What does it feel like to successfully perform your task? So these are all guiding questions to color the scene, color the image, and make it as vivid as possible so we can really act as if. So I'll get into a brief example at the end of this. Imagine this moving image, this scene, playing like a movie in your headspace. So this part, again, I would go into it further with the client in the session, but we're imagining this scene up here in the head. So actually physically seeing that movie play out in the mind, in the headspace. Now mentally bring that moving image down from the head into the chest, so into the heart space. You are now feeling this scene through your heart. Immerse yourself in the positive emotions, acting completely as if you are achieving or you have achieved your desired task. As you continue your automatic breathing, that diaphragmatic breathing, allow yourself to sit with these positive feelings as the scene plays out. When you are ready, bring your attention back to your body and open your eyes. Okay, so the relaxation piece is important. The mindfulness piece is important. Those are precursors to the main technique intervention, which is this imagery piece and this imaginative process of bringing the vision, those cognitive factors, those cognitive pieces down into the headspace where we are filling it with emotion. So this is just a way of really making the vision vivid and powerful, because we're charging it with emotions. So the key things to really focus on, or I would focus on with the athlete after having done this, is what is the performance. So we would talk about this before as well, like what is it that you want to accomplish. So let's say the athlete, it's a soccer player, and he wants to have a very efficient training session, which involves getting 3 out of 4 turnovers of the ball. So this is based on an actual session that I did in one of my internships. I didn't go through this specific technique, but this is just an example of what my client wanted to work on. So in this case, that's the performance. We want to envision a successfully accomplished scene of having gotten 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 4 turnovers, and then the important piece is the feelings associated with that sense of accomplishment, that success. How does that feel? The other pieces, they are important in helping create the vivid imagery, but what's most important in all of this is the feeling, the emotional charge. That is what gets the mind and the body primed for the actual successful performance of the task. It helps to manifest this in existence, okay? Because there's that functional equivalence and the vicarious experience. So, and of course the performance accomplishments, which is one of the main contributors to self-confidence. So yeah, we discussed this prior, then we go through it in our imagery and in this thinking heart meditation, and then come out of it and then discuss how that felt, and all what went well, what could use improvement. And we do this a couple of times. So like I said, 2 to 3 sessions guided, and then from there it's independently carried out, and we discuss it in our following sessions. So that's it in a nutshell. Very condensed, but it takes what I really find to be a foundation to my philosophy of practice, which is the meditation, the mindfulness, and the use of imagination in our imagery work. So thank you for tuning in, and take care.